This week on the Analog Circle podcast, we get some new alleged news about Insomniac's Spider-Man Part 2. The ESA are bringing back E3 this year with a bit of a catch. Microsoft speaks about their first gaming event happening later this month. And The Legend of Zelda could have 2 new remakes in development. All of these stories can be found here and many, many more in episode 164 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Keon Mitchell, and I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here again for another week, for another episode. Now, what I want to let you guys know right now, you the listener, if you are listening right now, and of course you are because you hear my voice, if you want to be a part of the next episode of listener feedback, you can do it 2 different ways. We're going to be recording that on Wednesday. And if you want to be a part of that episode, you can either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Now, with that being said, with all of those shameless plugs out the way, oh man, I got one more shameless plug for you. If you want to listen to some previously recorded episodes of the podcast is over on Apple Podcasts and other places. You know what? Just type it into Google. Type the Analog Circle podcast into Google. It'll take you to where you need to be, and y'all know the rest, and enjoy yourself. Now, guys, I have to say, this week, I had started playing Little Nightmares Part 2. Now, you guys know I have played the first one. Didn't beat the first one. Still, probably a little more than halfway done. But I was such a fan of the first one. I said, my goodness, this is awesome. So when I saw the preview or the trailer for, Part 2, I was instantly like, oh man, I have to check this out. So I did. I actually played the demo of it over the weekend. It wasn't even over the weekend. It was earlier last week because I'm recording this on Monday, a little late this week, but we gonna get through it. But I played it, and golly, what an exceptional game. I mean, this is a AA game. I mean, look, we're not gonna sugarcoat it, but good gosh, this game is beautiful. I mean, if you played the first one and you compare it to the second one, the gameplay is so much better. I don't know, it just feels like it moves a little faster. It controls better. It's hard to explain why it feels better, but it does. And then you have a companion with you. I mean, think of, what was the game? Ico, where, you're guiding around a princess holding a hand and having to take her through different obstacles and things of that sort. Man, my voice is going to be cracking all episode, I'm sure. But, as I'm playing through this game, man, I am just having a ball. First off, I'm just I ain't gonna say in awe, but I was kinda in awe of how good the game looks. Now, the first one looked great as well. It was a nice looking game. But this one, I'm like, wow, just the shadows and just the character models. I mean, they're okay looking. They're cool. But it's the environments that you're in that make this game just so pretty to look at. I mean, I have really, really enjoyed the demo. I will be picking the game up. Absolutely. I will definitely be getting it. I'm looking forward to playing through the whole thing, but I do want to finish the first one just to say that I did it. That way, going into the second one, I'll be all up to speed. But they did say, now I'll tell you this, because the demo, if you haven't played it, I would highly recommend playing it either on Xbox or PlayStation. But they say that where the first game leaves off, the second one picks up right at that moment. So even if you didn't play the second one, the first one, if you think you have to play the first one to understand the second one, I can tell you that doesn't seem like that is the case, because the way that the second one starts, it pretty much starts you not knowing anything anyway. So yeah, if you were interested in the second one and you didn't want to go back to the first one, I truly don't think you would have to do that in order to understand the second game. But man, just play it. I don't want to harp on it too long because we got a lot of stuff to go through this week. Definitely give it a shot. And I think you will definitely have a good time with it. It is a really good game. The story, I don't know what's going on with the story so far. The first one, I had no idea what the story was, what was going on with the story either. It just seems like it's these people that they're not really human. They look like an offshoot of like some mutated humans or something, or some kind of other species. I don't know what they are, but all I know is they're trying to eat you and they're trying to capture you. So that seems like that's pretty much the premise of this game as far as I can tell at the moment. But, yeah, I would just say, please give that a shot. It's free. It's a demo. It's up. The full game is up. So if you enjoy the demo like myself, you'll be able to buy the game. I believe it's $29.99 if I'm not mistaken, $30, just off of the demo alone. And playing the first one, I can already tell you that I'm sure, and I know mileage may vary, but for me, $30, it is absolutely worth that price. Game is gorgeous looking. It plays well. And golly, just, man, give it a shot, man. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. So yeah, that was the only thing I played. Nope. Still playing Cyberpunk 2077. The game is crack. It's crack cocaine for me, man. I have been continuously enjoying that game. I'm over 30 hours into that game officially now, and it continues to, don't get me wrong, as I'm going through it, okay, I'm at the 30-hour mark at this moment. It's still a really good game. It's still good, but it's some slow parts in that game where you are not doing any shooting. It's no action going on. It's a lot of talking, a lot of setting up the missions and all of that stuff, having a recon and, looking around and making sure that everything is okay. That gets a little boring at times, but when you get into the action, golly, that game is, it's still good. Been enjoying it, but those scenes where it's no action going on and you're having to do all of this study work and figuring out what you got to do, for this mission and walking around, it can be a little boring, but that's part of the game. I'm not going to knock it for it. It's just being 30 hours in. I'm hoping, and I don't think it is, but I'm hoping the end is coming, and it doesn't look like I'm even remotely close to the end. So this might end up being a 50, 60 hour doggone experience, man. And y'all know, God, dog, that's our RPG numbers for me. So, I don't know. As the days go on and weeks go on that I play the game, I might slowly start stepping away from it unless it seems like I'll be able to get the game done in the next, hopefully 10, maybe 15 hours. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but we'll see. But still, the game is still a great game. I've been enjoying it. You guys already know my thoughts on it. It doesn't run that great, but it's still a fun game. And the story is what keeps me there. So, yeah, here we are almost 10 minutes in, man, and we haven't covered one story. So, I think it's about that time to go ahead and get into what we all come here for, and that is the gaming news that went down. So let's start off with some pretty shocking news. Now, according to a Microsoft career website, on February 6th, it was revealed that 343 Industries is working on another Halo project outside of Halo Infinite, where the listing states that they are looking to hire a producer, quote, to help develop a new project in the Halo universe, end of quote. Now, that's pretty much where the details dry up. But in the IGN article, they did point out a VG247 article that brought up potentially what the next project could be. Now, this was back in November 2020 in a tweet that is now deleted that suggested it could be Halo Wars 3 or a spinoff of Halo 5's fire team Osiris. Now, in that VG 24/7 article, they also went over a rumor that suggested the game Halo Infinite would release in 4 chapters between 2021 and 2031. That would be crazy. But what I do want to let you guys know is, since I wrote this, some other information did come out, and Halo Wars 3, that is not being worked on. I forgot who it was, but I don't know if it was the manager, the community manager, or whoever it was, but they said that right now, at least right now, there is no plans to make a Halo Wars 3 at this moment. So could that mean that this Halo 5 Team Osiris offshoot could be a thing or not? I mean, we'll have to see, but it's so interesting to me that Halo Infinite isn't done. I mean, I'm sure they're probably getting closer to the finish line. I can't imagine that if the game is coming out this year that it's, that far off from being released. Of course, we know that when they showed it, the game was not showed in its best light. A lot of us did not like the way that game looked, me included. I thought it looked current gen at very, very best. Maybe even 360. Yeah, maybe even 360-esque graphics when I saw the game. I was not impressed and totally upset with what Microsoft was, with what Microsoft did with that IP, showing it off like that. Good grief, it looked horrible. So we know that they went back in the lab and they're supposed to be working on it, but it's coming out this year, so it can't be that far off. Now, of course, we know that teams kind of like Naughty Dog, once a game is coming towards its end, they'll take a small set of the team to start working on another project. Now, that could be the case here. I'm just interested in what it could be. Now, Halo 5, I did not play it, so I'm not familiar with Fire Team Osiris, but, maybe it's a situation like in Halo, what was it? The one where everybody, spoiler 1, 2, 3, everybody pretty much died in the end. I forgot, can't think of the name of it, but maybe it's similar to that game where it's like an offshoot of a team and, you get these guys, Fire Team Osiris to have their own game. Who knows? But then the other thing, I kind of glossed over it, but I want to go back to it. What the world? Of course, this is a rumor off of 24/7, VG 24/7, saying that Halo Infinite will release in 4 chapters, which would take 10 years to complete. Golly! Now, I don't think that's a problem if you're talking about fully fledged Halo games. I could see that being the case, but if you're talking about literally chapter by chapter, we got to read between the lines. I'm sure that's not the case, but, going chapter 1, chapter 2 over a 10-year span, that could be something interesting depending on what they do with it, but, I guess we'll have to see. Who knows, man? I don't know. Another Halo is being made right now. Who the world knows when we're going to see it? What the world is it about? I have no idea, but we're going to have to keep our hand on the pulse with this one. I am interested. I'm not the biggest Halo fan. I definitely respect and love what the franchise was able to do for console gaming when it came to first-person shooters. I gotta give Bungie, the original guys behind that IP, ton of respect for that because they changed the landscape when it came to first-person shooters on console. So definitely, appreciate what they've done with their contributions with that. But I would be absolutely lying to y'all if I said I'm just the biggest Master Chief fan. I have Halo 1 through 4, so I guess maybe I gotta be somewhat of a fan, right? If I got all four out of the 6, I guess. So, anyway, here we go. I'm rambling again. Let's move on. Let's see if we can keep this show to an hour. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do video game theater this week because, I'm gonna try to keep it to that hour mark. But let's go ahead. Let's move on to the next story. So, like I mentioned, In the last episode, we did get some Take-Two news due to their quarterly financial report. Let's start with some numbers. So to date, God dog, this is insanity. To date, GTA 5 has sold 140 million units. Now, they saw more players last year every month since the game launched. What, golly, when did the game launched, back in, 2012 or 13? You're talking about like an 8-year-old game, and in year 7, they saw the most players that they had ever seen in a month, every month. Golly, man, coronavirus, God dog it. Now, let's go ahead. Let's keep on moving. Let's see, now their revenue was up 28% year over year for the quarter. Red Dead Redemption 2 worldwide has sold more than 36 million copies. And the online portion of the game saw its highest player count in December. This is just nuts. December of last year, they saw their highest player count. And this game has been online for 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, maybe 5 years or so, somewhere around in there. Don't quote me on that. But it's been a long time for you to just be seeing your highest player count coming in December of last year. Now, let me continue on. Now, I don't know how this happened, but Borderlands 3 sold 12 million copies. I didn't know that Borderlands was that big of a household game and name. I understand Borderlands is, it's a nice size title, but selling a 12 million? Nah, I would have never guessed that. I thought they would have been around like the 3-4 million mark, but 12 million copies. And 2K21 actually sold 8 million copies. Now, I would have thought that they would have flipped. I would have thought maybe 2K would have been where Borderlands is, and Borderlands, would have been around where 2K is. I mean, once again, I thought it was 3 or 4 million, but I absolutely thought 2K would sell more than Borderlands. Now, one last thing to Take-Two did confirm was GTA 5 will be releasing on Series X and S and PlayStation 5 in the second half of 2021. Now, they also mentioned that they will be releasing a standalone version of GTA Online, and it will be free for the first 3 months on PlayStation 5. Once again, looks like Sony has another exclusive deal with Rockstar. We know that they had it with Red Dead Redemption as well, with Red Dead Redemption 2, and now it looks like it's bleeding over, and of course it would be, because back during, I believe it was June or July, whenever PlayStation had their event over the summer, their E3-esque kind of like event, we saw that Rockstar GTA 5 was on their show. So it only makes sense that they would have this kind of agreement with them, this exclusivity. Well, maybe it's not exclusive, but it's just free on the PlayStation 5 for the first 3 months. Now, as far as remasters go, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick basically said official announcements about future Rockstar products would come from the developer itself, but he did say that he liked the question and he found it, quote, encouraging, whatever that means. And the remaster question came from someone on the call asking if the company saw an opportunity to remaster prior GTAs to cash in on the success of the franchise. And crazy enough, now, I mean, look, man, I'm about to go out on a limb, but crazy enough, October 22nd, it will be Grand Theft Auto 3's 20th anniversary. I mean, this is when the game changed, people. When GTA 3 came out, they completely built their own genre, as it were. Rockstar cut out their own niche to themselves, giving birth to the open world gaming landscape. We had never seen anything like GTA 3. I remember being so amazed and shocked by what what you could do? I mean, jumping into a car and actually changing radio stations, having hip hop on a radio station in a video game, man, you could have bought me for a dime. I was completely blown away by the control that you had in GTA 3. You could go on a mission, and usually at that time, I know it doesn't seem like anything new now. I mean, it's been around for forever, but during that time, going on a mission, you had to kind of follow the structure of how the developers wanted you to do the mission. So if you had to be on foot, you had to be on foot to do the mission. If you were supposed to be in a vehicle, they would put you in the vehicle, the developer, to go on the mission. But GTA 3 was the first time I did a mission. I was on foot. I was trying to kill the enemies with the gun. It kept on killing me. I said, you know what? I'm a jack a car. I'm going to get a car, and I'm going to see if I can just run them over. Hey, what the world could happen? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I'm getting killed. And I jumped in the car, and when I saw the enemies, I just peeled off, and I started hitting them. I said, oh my gosh, I've never been able to do that in the game. The freedom. To be able to do what you wanted to do with some of the missions was revolutionary. I mean, we take it for granted today. I mean, open world is probably one of the biggest genres out there now, but at the time, Rockstar had completely carved out something that gamers had never seen. And this being the 20th anniversary of GTA 3, I mean, look, I don't think it's going to happen. I highly doubt it. But man, it would be so awesome to get a remaster of GTA 3 going back to Liberty City. Golly, it was just a heck of a time, man. It was awesome. It changed the gaming landscape forever when it came to that. And man, just shout out to Rockstar, GTA 3, taking that chance, breaking all kinds of new gaming ground, and just, man, giving us a whole new genre to be able to explore. Shout out to them. Oh, man. Please make that happen, Rockstar. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to. We've heard the rumors that Red Dead Redemption was supposed to be getting remade or remastered. Nothing has come to the forefront about that. So we'll just have to wait. I mean, look, the CEO, Strauss, he did say that, it was encouraging to hear, and hopefully they will just capitalize on the situation. I mean, look, what's better than money? More money for the corporation. Shucks, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting more money myself. If my boss said, hey, I'm going to give you a raise, what you think I'm going to turn it down? No way. Anyway, let's go ahead and move into the next story. Shout out to Take-Two and them. They doing their thing. They doing crazy numbers. But, so normally around this time, we would start getting hints as to when E3 would be taking place, but because of the pandemic, more than likely a traditional show won't happen. But that's not stopping the ESA, because they are pushing for a digital event to take place from June 15th to June 17th. Now, an ESA spokesperson said this, and I quote, "We can confirm that we are transforming the E3 experience for 2021 and will soon share exact details on how we're bringing the global video game community together. We are having great conversations with publishers, developers, and companies across the board, and we look forward to sharing details about their involvement soon." End of quote. Now, the ESA also wants to include demos of games available on multiple platforms, as well as allowing developers to be able to stream their game demos to the media. Now, as far as the format of the show, they wanted to consist of a 2-hour, quote, exclusive press conference, end of quote, by a console platform holder, followed up with a Q&A and panel reaction. Now, followed up with the rest of the day consisting of third-party publishers, presentations varying in length. Now, all of this, I gotta say, this sounds great, but it's one problem. They have to get the approval of ESA's membership, which consists of the biggest game companies in the industry. And in this VGC article, they mentioned that they spoke to one major game company who said, and this doesn't make it look good, but they said that they would continue to run their own separate event. Ah, man, E3, let me tell you something. Matter of fact, I'm going to save this for later. That's going to be the question of the week. We're going to talk about this at the end of the show. Matter of fact, I'm already going to, y'all will see the question up. But this is interesting nonetheless. I like to say interesting a lot. I've definitely noticed that about myself. God, dog. Golly, is that many things interesting? Man, oh man. But this could be a heck of a situation. We know that the ESA, they need these guys in order for it to happen. We have seen, you know what? We're going to save it. Let's go ahead, man. Let's get into the next story. Cause yeah, we're going to talk about that. I'm trying to keep the show to an hour. We're going to try to get out of here on time. So here we go. So the, Microsoft and ZeniMax story continues, and it continues in the form of a new document covering European Union law. And it has revealed that Microsoft will acquire Bethesda under a new subsidiary, which will be called Vault. And the parent company, ZeniMax Media, will also be merged under the Vault umbrella as well. Now, despite this, and I'm sure to no one's surprise, Microsoft will continue, Microsoft will still have, quote, sole control, end of quote, of ZeniMax. So basically this means that both ZeniMax, man, I'm trying not to choke in y'all ear, man. ZeniMax and Bethesda will be legally classified under a new company soon to be, quote, Vault. And as the PSU article points out, this move would make sense because with them buying ZeniMax, that comes with a number of companies. So by creating this, quote, Vault company, it's a way to put all of the companies that will come along with this purchase all under one roof. Now, you know, me personally, I don't know a whole ton about business, but for me, I was curious to know what were some of the benefits for a company having a subsidiary. Now, one is the principal tax benefit, so it allows the ability on federal income tax returns to offset profits in one part of the business with losses in another. Also, forming a subsidiary also can provide tax benefits at the state level. Now, another benefit is it protects themselves legally, themselves meaning Microsoft. Case in point, if the subsidiary stays independent, the parent company isn't liable for any negligent or criminal acts on the subsidiary's part. But in some cases, it can be some exceptions to that rule. Now, one other thing they can do is liquidate the company and sell off the assets for money. Basically, Microsoft is making this subsidiary, this Vault subsidiary of the company ZeniMax, to basically protect themselves. I mean, they're going to get some tax benefits. They're not going to be legally bonded to the company if things go wrong, if something happens on this soon to be Vault's part. The parent company Microsoft won't be held liable for anything that could happen. So they're basically protecting themselves. And also if things get really bad, which I really really hope that never happens for this soon to be new company, Vault, or the subsidiary Vault. If things do get bad, they can liquidate the company and sell off the assets for money. So basically, I guess the technology that id Software has, that engine that they have, as well as the IPs, they can liquidate it, sell it off. So it's all to just make sure that Microsoft, as the parent company, they're protected, and they'll be able to get some benefits as well off of the company itself, the subsidiary. So, I mean, it's no more than that. I thought it was a little bit more to it, but, just researching it and seeing what happened. But the thing about this is, though, now the positive, I don't want to just sweep this under the rug like this isn't great news, because it looks like it is going through. It's happening. It's gonna happen. Microsoft, they already got the subsidiary set up in Vault, and that makes sense because of Fallout. We all know what that is, Fallout, Vault, and all of that stuff. It makes sense. That's a nice play on words, Microsoft. I like it. Similar to the Coalition, with Gears. So we get it. 343 in the sky. Anyway, you don't need to keep on going down that road. But that's about it for this. They're just trying to protect themselves, their assets, and ain't trying to be held liable if things go left, which, hey, I think that's just smart business. You want to do everything you can, put all kinds of things in place to protect yourself as much as possible. So, and I believe that, it was one other thing I didn't understand, and I got to give, I believe it was Post Up that broke it down. Shout out to him, Z and the Broadband Bullies. Definitely go check them out. Those brothers are full of entertainment, man. They're awesome. But I believe he was saying that they had to get it through Europe. They had to get the deal brought through because there are some European studios, I believe, that are inside of the ZeniMax / Bethesda, I guess, as it were, how can I put it? Man, it's companies in there, man, all under the banner, that are over there, and they had to make sure that they could, get that straightened out as well because they're European studios. I believe it was the guys that worked on Prey, whoever worked on Prey, them and someone else. But yeah, that's why they had to get it, pass through on the European side. Anyway, man, I'm rambling, but it looks like we're good on time, though. We're making our way. So let's go ahead, man. Let's get into the next story. Now, this is quick news. Now, if you have ever been interested in EA Play and you don't have Game Pass, new members can sign up for 99 cents on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation from now until March 9th. And if you are wondering how much the service costs on a monthly basis, it is $5. So if you want to get in for the low, get in for the cheap to check it out. It'll be $1. And you can take advantage of this until March 9th. Let's go ahead. Oh, this is one of my favorite stories of the week. We got to talk about this. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Now listen, finally, it has been announced. Ratchet and Clank has a release date, and it will cost, now this is the thing, the release date is going to be June 11th, 2021. Now you guys know I gotta have a PS5 by the time this game comes out. This is one of my most anticipated games of the year. So I have to get a PS5 by the time or before this game drops on June 11th, 2021. Now, the cost of the game is going to be $69.99. I don't think that shocks anybody. It'll be a $70 game. Now, the story plot will feature Dr. Nefarious using a device to gain access to alternate dimensions with the goal of finding a location where, quote, he always wins, end of quote. Now, during the game, Ratchet and Clank will get separated, but they do eventually find each other. But somewhere in between time, a, quote, new Lombax resistant fighter, end of quote, shows up. Now, as far as the storyline goes, Insomniac Games is claiming that it's a standalone storyline that will work for newcomers and vets of the franchise. Now, the thing that got me hyped up with this, man, not only did we get the release date, but hearing about that other Lombax, and we saw him. I don't know if it was a he or a she. I don't know. But it was the all white colored Lombax that he dropped down. I was like, who the heck is that? That can't be Ratchet. Ratchet is like a brownish, yellowish, golden color. That can't be him. But here it is. We find that it's a new fighter, a new Lombax resistance fighter that's showing up into the storyline. So I can't wait, man. I'm so excited for this. I didn't become a Ratchet and Clank fan until the PS4 version. That's how late on the uptake I was of Ratchet and Clank, and it ended up being one of my most favorite games last generation. Think I gave that game like a 9 out of 10. It was just that amazing. It was fun. Oh my gosh, it was a ton of fun. It was great weapons, a fun story. Graphics were incredible. At the time, I mean, man, you talk about Pixar levels. And now seeing Ratchet and Clank A Rift Apart on the PS5, the load times going through different dimensions and loading up in a second, and it's beautiful as the game. Look, man, I can't wait for this game. This is going to be a day one for me, and I'm so glad that it's coming out this year. I thought it was going to be out a little early. I thought maybe April or May, but June, I can live with that. Oh, I can live with that. That is not a problem. By the time the summer comes up anyway, that's when PlayStation 5s is supposed to be. I mean, hopefully it will. They're supposed to be readily available. You walk in your local Best Buy, Target, Walmart, and just pick one up off the shelf and go home with it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go in. I mean, of course, I would love to get it before Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart comes out. You know, I would love to get the PlayStation 5 before that happens. But if it does end up just happening like that, I'm going in and getting both. That's a done deal, man. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm excited about this. Oh, man, I'm so excited about it. Can't wait for this to come out. If you haven't played the PlayStation 4 version of Ratchet and Clank, I think you can get it for like $20, $20, and you off to the races, man. They might even start, who knows, Sony knowing that this game is coming out very soon, if it's not already, because I don't know, but if it's not available already for free to PlayStation Plus subscribers, then I'm sure they may just take that paywall down. This will be great publicity for the second game. Well, technically, it's absolutely not the second game, but, you know, the first game for the new generation, the PS5, that would be a great way to segue people into it, get people's eyes on it, because I'm telling you, that game was remarkable. Anyway, also on a side note, I do want to mention this as well. Talking about release dates, Deathloop. You guys know, man, I was on one with that one, man. I'm up there talking about we ain't seeing a release date and all of this stuff, and I mean, who knows? Maybe Microsoft backed out of the deal. Nah, man. I mean, y'all know, man. Pardon me on that one, brothers and sisters. Pardon me. But we did get a release date. It's actually releasing, and it's still exclusive to the PlayStation 5. It will be releasing on May 21st, 2021. So there it is, back to backs. May, you got Deathloop. June, you got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Microsoft, come on. Come on, Microsoft. You are not far behind. You're only 1 million units behind. Don't let Sony start to get out the gate on you. Just start to release some games. Y'all gonna be fine. But don't let them start doing these back-to-back releases on y'all, because it's going to start to hurt. Oh, it's going to start to sting. Anyway, let's go ahead. Oh, man, it's another thing I want to let y'all know, too, is that, excuse me. Oh, man, pardon me. Is, what is it? Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, my goodness. Man, I talked about They said that they were supposed to be releasing some new information over the weekend. I was waiting for that information. That is partly why the show was going up late. I was waiting on it and found nothing. Matter of fact, I found the article this morning where they said that nothing was announced during that concert. And the concert was actually a pay-per-view. And they showed nothing. They said that they had hinted at some kind of news coming up because they did this fake news broadcast and people thought that, oh, shucks, this is when the news is going to happen. Nothing. Crickets. Nothing at all. So we're still sitting here waiting to see what happens with that. Nothing has been talked about. We know nothing. We don't know if the game is coming to other platforms or not. It's supposed to be because April 10th is when the exclusivity deal for PlayStation is supposed to be up. But we still know nothing. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens with that. But let's move on to the next story. So this next story, we find ourselves on Rumorville Boulevard. Because according to a Reddit user named Babu, spelled B-A-B-U, shout out to you, Babu, 1993, said in a tweet that has now been deleted, where he teased that Microsoft would be making an announcement on February 17th. Now, another known insider, Klobrille, I've talked to him before. He's a cool dude. Klobrille suggested that this announcement could be about the frame rate doubling tech that they showed off last year, which would essentially double the frames of select backwards compatible games. But who knows? So please take this with a mustard seed of truth. By the way, Klobrille only talked to him on Twitter, brother. I mean, I think I dropped him one line and he gave me a thumbs up. It wasn't a deep conversation at all. But this could be interesting. February 17th, which is what? When is February 17th? What's the day's date? 15th. So by Wednesday, man, this could be another Final Fantasy situation. I don't know. But by Wednesday, if this is true, Microsoft will be making an announcement about this. So we will see what wait a minute. Wait. Now, I got this from WCFF Tech, but I don't know. Stay tuned, man, because I might have jumped the gun. We'll see. Anyway, be on the lookout for that, but I think I wrote something else down about this. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's move forward. Let's talk about Zelda, because similar to Mario last year, man, wait a minute. I'm not going to just jump past this like I didn't just mess up right here, but I think that this may have something to do with their gaming event that I was telling you guys about at the beginning of the show. We're going to see, because when I write these, sometimes they're days apart, and I don't go back, man. I just start writing stuff, and, man, I'm doing it live on the show right now, brothers and sisters. I don't proofread this stuff as I'm going. Anyway, let's go ahead, man. Don't forget, this is Unprofessional Productions over here. So let's go ahead and let's continue on with some more of this gaming news. Now let's talk about Zelda, because similar to Mario last year, the Zelda franchise will be turning 35 years old this year. And even though Nintendo hasn't said anything officially, one would have to guess that Link would be getting shown the same level of love as Mario for his big milestone. And this is what leads us into some findings from Twitter user. Now his name, God dog, this is something else. His name is Kilios FR. This spell it Kelios, Kilios FR, who discovered that new trademarks were filed in Australia for Phantom Hourglass and The Wind Waker. Now, these titles were also filed alongside trademarks for other official Nintendo Switch games. Now, the interesting thing about Phantom Hourglass is it was released on the DS and has the same art style as Wind Waker, and it seems to be one of the more hated Zelda games. By the way, I got this article from Inverse. Now, this is the thing. I would have thought that if, and once again, this is just a rumor, the trademark, they did do the trademark out in Australia. That's true. But I would have thought that Phantom Hourglass, same art style as Zelda Wind Waker, and then remaking Wind Waker, it makes sense that you would have both of those being remade because they are of the same art style. But if you would have asked me, I would have thought they would have done something like Ocarina of Time or Zelda 64, something that's more of a staple of the Zelda franchise to celebrate. If this is what this is supposed to be, a celebration of Zelda turning 35, I would have thought they would have given the fans, those two games, because those were very popular, those were beloved, people absolutely enjoyed those. So to have something like the Wind Waker, which at the time, I remember when Wind Waker was released, because before they showed that off, the cartoony looking style of the game, they showed off a darker Legend of Zelda where Link and Ganon were going at it. It looked way more mature, way more adult themed, and everybody thought that was the direction that Nintendo was going to go in with Zelda. And then they followed that up after it looked so amazing. They followed that up with the Wind Waker. We said, that's it. I'm done. That was when I was so frustrated with Nintendo. Absolute. I was at my wit's end. I said, they just don't get it. Why not make an adult themed Link? I'm not saying he gotta have a foul mouth or anything like that, or doing some Kratos type of push button scenes or anything like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying go that far, but you could at least darken the tone a little bit. But instead they come with this whimsical looking the Wind Waker game for Zelda, which I ain't gonna lie, it looked good. It looked real good. It was cool, but I just wish they had went down the other path. So whether or not these will be the games that will be coming out to celebrate Zelda's 35th anniversary, who knows? I truly hope that they maybe bring out two better ones than this, and maybe even do like a 3-pack. Why not do 3 Zeldas like they did for Mario last year with Mario 64, Mario 64, golly, what were the other 2 Marios? I'm forgetting. But they were on GameCube, and I forgot the other one. Anyway, y'all know the 3-pack I'm talking about, man. If they just do something like that, I think that would be much better. But these 2, I don't know how far they're going to go with Zelda fans. Now, you guys know I have not been the biggest Zelda fan up until, shout out to that person that bought a Zelda for me on the Switch. I hadn't really been a Zelda fan up until that point. I've been enjoying the game so far. I would pick these up if they were the N64 games. I don't know about these right here. A DS game, Nintendo? God dog, man, come on. Get it together. This is a big milestone for Zelda. Send them out right. Y'all didn't take any liberties with Mario. You put Mario 64 in there along with the other 2 games. Mario Sunshine was another one, and I ain't gonna remember the other one, but it was on the Wii. Hook Zelda up, man. Do better, Nintendo. Maybe they will. We'll see. Anyway, let's go ahead. Oh, shucks. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, guys. I don't know if we're gonna make it to the under the hour mark, but let's go. Let's keep on going. Now, I don't know how much of a widespread problem this is, but according to Eurogamer, one law firm called Chemicals, Chemicals, Schwartz, Craner, and Donaldson Smith has, you can just call them, in short, CSK&D for short. This law firm, they have been searching for PlayStation 5 customers who have been experiencing drift issues with the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, and encouraging them to fill out an online form and get in contact with them. Now, a lawsuit has been officially filed against Sony in New York. So this takes me back to the Nintendo Switch, their drift problems. It looks like Sony, they might be on the chopping block. Who knows? It's all, I mean, you can sue for anything. Doesn't mean that you're going to get money out of it, but the lawsuit has been filed in New York against Sony. So Sony might have to come up off of some dollars. Who knows? We're going to have to see. But speaking of Sony, I almost forgot. I do this every single time. You, the listeners, I got to say thank y'all. Once again, I really appreciate y'all being here. It's great to be able to talk to you guys, getting feedback from you guys. Like I say, the numbers are continuing to grow, and I appreciate that. I humbly appreciate you guys' support. So here, I have a $25 PlayStation Store gift card, and I want to give this out. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, Sir William X, this brother will redeem this code. This brother is batting almost 1,000 when it comes to getting these codes, man. So you might want to jump on this as soon as you can. So here is the code. Once again, it's for $25. Get your pens, get your paper, get your Crayolas, and get ready to write this down. Now, the code is as follows. It is 35D9KBNQD737. Hopefully one of you guys wins. Let me know that you won so I can shout you out. And enjoy that. It's just a small token from me, letting you know that I really, truly, and humbly appreciate you guys showing support for the podcast. Now, let's go ahead and let's move on into the next story. So, for a while, rumors have been going around that Dying Light 2 developer Techland was going to be bought by Microsoft, putting them under the Xbox Game Studios banner. But Techland's community manager, Uncy, spelled U-N-C-Y, decided to set the record straight on Twitter by saying, and I quote, "I'm getting a lot of DMs about Dying Light acquisition, so I'll answer here. There was the same rumor floating around the internet 1 year ago, and the situation didn't change. Techland is an independent studio, and it was not acquired by another publisher. Smiley face." End of quote. Now, I got this from Comic Book. Shout out to them, the article. Now, I mean, look, listen. As it stands right now, they're still independent. Nothing has changed. Same thing. Yeah, this rumor has been going around for quite some time. No movement seems like has been made on it. I mean, the smiley face, who knows? I mean, man, that's the thing. That is the thing. And I'm so guilty of this. So guilty. We find the smallest pieces of just small information and we make a mountain out of it. I was about to say the smiley face could have meant, not yet, but we're waiting for the paperwork. I mean, this is how the mind sometimes works for me. I'm not going to say it works like that for everybody, but we just hold on to small pieces. I just said we, golly. I'll say I hold on to small pieces and start trying to dissect it and trying to make something bigger out of it than what it really is. Here it is. The man is saying in clear English for me to understand that they are still an independent studio and it was not acquired by another publisher. Now, who knows what can happen in the future? I mean, we know that Satya Nadella has said that they are still going to be looking for acquisitions. This will continue, but who knows if Techland even wants to be bought? We don't know. So for now, they are still an independent studio and nobody has picked them up yet. So we're going to go ahead and move on from there into the next story, and we ain't going to make it, guys. God dog. Let me see how many more I got. Nah, we ain't going to make it. We are going to be over an hour again. Golly. All right, man. Well, speaking of Microsoft, on February 23rd through the 24th, they will be having and this is where I thought I messed up, but maybe not. February 23rd through the 24th, they will be having their first gaming event. Now, first gaming event this year. Let me get it together. Now, It's not, and that's not what you're thinking. The event is called AI and Gaming Research Summit. Phil Spencer and Kareem Chowdhury will both be there. Man, they're going to be speaking there. Golly, let me get this whole thing back on track. They'll be the speakers at the event. They will be covering 4 key themes. It'll be AI agents for gameplay and game testing, responsible gaming, including ethics, safety and inclusivity, computational creativity and content generation, and understanding players, player engagement, and analytics. So, yeah, this seems like a show more dedicated to developers, so I wouldn't expect a sinuous sacrifice to be at this show. But if you're interested in checking it out, just be on the lookout. February 23rd through the 24th, the event will be happening. It'll be I'm interested in this kind of stuff, so maybe I'll check it out. But we'll see. Anyway, let's keep on going. We had 55 minutes. On a side note, the Kingdom Hearts series is coming to PC exclusively through the Epic Games Store on March 30th, 2021. I don't think Kingdom Hearts has ever been on PC, so yeah, this is the first time I believe it's going to be on PC, and it's through the Epic Games Store. Epic, golly, you got mad shucks. I'm going to give them a daggone round of applause. Epic is out here working hard for y'all money on the PC. These guys have been getting exclusive after exclusive after exclusive. They starting to look like the Sony out here versus Microsoft. A doggone Steam looking like Microsoft, and daggone Epic Store is looking like Sony out here. They are really trying to get you guys into their ecosystem. They got the whole Kingdom Hearts series exclusive on the PC starting March 30th, 2021. And the way their deals usually work over there, now I don't know the time frame. I'm not going to, go out there and say, I know for sure that this is how long it's going to be. But Epic Game Store, they usually have their exclusives between 6 months to a year, more so a year. So if you are on Steam and you have been playing on PC, never had a PlayStation or Xbox, and you might be looking forward to Kingdom Hearts, the only place you can get it is through the Epic Game Store. This is great, man. It's competition. They are competing with Steam, who has been the number one juggernaut in PC, to my understanding, where most PC gamers go to get their games. So here it is. Epic is out there. They giving away free games and all. They're giving away something free this week. I can't remember what it's called, but it's something that they're giving away. It's a big game too that they're giving away for free. Be on the lookout for that over on the Epic Game Store side. I'm sure you guys, it'll come past your feed. But man, congratulations on them getting this for an exclusive. The whole Kingdom Hearts series. Bravo to the doggone Epic Game Store. This is awesome. Now let's go ahead and let's move on into the next story. So this next story will be taking us down Rumorville Boulevard. And I believe this is the last story. Oh, shucks. I think we ain't gonna make it, but we gonna be close. But this, this going to put us on Rumor Boulevard. So, y'all know how this goes. Take this info from this point on with the mustard seed of truth. So, it looks like some Spider-Man 2 info has allegedly been leaked on Reddit. Now, the leaker's name is Sexy Elf 77. I wonder what they into. Sexy Elf 77. God, dog. Who states that because of the pandemic, motion capture and voiceovers has not been done, but Insomniac has started working on playable sections in the game. Now, due to emails being leaked, fact, it's being suggested that the script for the game is done and that Insomniac started working on the game in January 2019 and then went into full production by the second quarter of 2020. Oh, could we see something this year? I don't know. Now, as far as characters go, you will be playing as Peter Parker. I mean, of course you will, but he won't be the only character you control. Now, allegedly, instead, it's being said that 2 other characters will be playable. Now, their code names are Night Spider and Purple Bat. And the other code name for the Purple Bat character is Shin Vigilante. So, as far as the code name Night Spider, the Gaming Intel article said that name has been referenced in the comics as Miles Morales. Or maybe it could be a fake out for Venom. So, I mean, nobody's sure. Once again, this is all rumors. Nothing is concrete. But they're saying, they're suggesting that Miles Morales could be in the game. I don't think that's a far stretch. But when they say that it could be a fake out and it could be for Venom, that definitely raises my eyebrows. The Rock style, kind of like, what? So that's interesting. And the second character, Purple Bat, could be Wraith, who is the alter ego of Yuri Watanabe. Now, I know I messed that last name up, pardon me. But now, if this turns out to be true, she would use Mr. Fear's gas on opponents, and she would be wearing a suit with tentacles for traversing and tangling opponents. Golly, how crazy would that be? Now, the game will also feature a customizable experience. You will also be able to choose between Miles Morales and Peter Parker for each playable mission. That's interesting. But to the contrary, if the rumor is true, Wraith will be a character, Wraith will be a character that will be suggested that she will be in smaller character appearing. Man, wait a minute. Look, listen, man, she gonna be on side missions, brother. That's basically what I was trying to write before I completely botched this one. But yeah, she'll be a smaller character appearing in smaller side missions. Now, I'm guessing probably similar to maybe how it was with Miles and Mary Jane in the first game, where certain sections of the game you will play and you would be their character. So, I mean, golly, this actually doesn't seem far-fetched for it to be another 3-character scenario. Thinking about it that way, because Miles Morales, yeah, he was in the first game, golly. Mary Jane was in the first game, and the thing about them was, at that time, at least for Miles, he wasn't doing any heroics or anything like that. So since, he's got his powers and things are different now, it would make sense that he would absolutely be able to be played for different missions. Now, the thing about Yuri, it's interesting because her having this suit, and keep in mind, I'm not very, very, very into the Spider-Verse as it were. I haven't read a Spider-Man comic book since I was probably about 13, 14. I was more of an Image fan. I loved Image comic books. Wasn't really into Marvel, so I'm not very versed in the universe of Spider-Man, but Yuri actually, wearing her alter ego, being able to wear this tentacle looking suit and traversing and tangling opponents up, man, that sounds remarkable. I would absolutely love to see something like that, but it is just a rumor right now. We're gonna have to see what happens as the game gets closer to release, but that would be awesome to have 3 characters. And then you talk about Venom. Oh man, I haven't played Venom in a video game, golly, since Marvel vs. Capcom, I believe. I mean, Venom would be dope. I don't know how they would put him into the storyline. I'm not sure, but I would love to see it, man. I mean, shucks. Hey, man, let's go bananas. How about Carnage. I'm not saying as a playable character, but maybe putting Carnage in the game as well. I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm about to get out of here. So that is the end of the gaming news this week. Golly, that would be nice to see. It's been in production since 2019. It's 2021 now. That's 2 years. It might be too early. We might not see anything on it, but hey, a person can dream, can't they? Shout out to Daddy. Let me dream, god dog it. Anyway, let's go ahead, man. It's no video game theater this week because we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes. But what I want to do is I want to circle back to that E3 situation. Now, the question, you guys saw it, but we're going to go over it officially. Should E3 return this year? Now the thing is, we know that Summerfest, oh my gosh, man, god dog, Summerfest was a bust. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I have never been so offended by a gaming doggone event as I was with Summer Game Fest. Man, listen, E3 to me, and I understand that people have varying opinions about it, but to me, E3 is still the Super Bowl of gaming. I think that if E3 was to have went on like it was supposed to, of course we understand why it didn't, but if it had went on like we normally see it, I think those price points of the PlayStation 5 and of the Series X and S would have been revealed way earlier than they were. Now, PlayStation, you can say, well, look, they haven't been at E3 anyway. Basically, the last holdout is really Microsoft. I get it, but it's no way on the earth that Sony would have let Microsoft had announced their price point and they wouldn't have followed it up very, very soon afterwards. E3 to me, it puts the pressure on these guys to be able, well, not to be able to, but to have to deliver the product. You don't get months and months and months of being able to sit on the information because that's the time when you reveal the big stuff. The big guns come out at E3, and that Summer Game Fest, golly, that thing was stretched all over the place. 2 weeks here, you might get something. Then 3 weeks go by, then you get something else. Next week, you get something else. I did not like that at all. I just wanted to get it all in one swoop. All of the information at one time during 1 week and not have it be expanded out throughout the whole darn summer. I can't take off all of these events. I can't see all of the events. I just ain't got that luxury. I mean, maybe some others do, and maybe they may feel differently, like E3 is not necessary. Now, the thing is that the ESA, they definitely have an uphill battle ahead of them because these companies have already done these events on their own. They've already had their own digital events. And these guys, they're still saying that in order for these guys to be a part of this digital E3 show, they would still be paying 6 figures to appear. I'm saying, how? Why? It's digital. Why would you be paying that much? And we already heard that one of these big publishers or developers, they said, nah, we're not going to be there. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to continue to do our own digital event. So no, we're good. So they have an uphill battle, but I want to know, should E3 return this year? A lot of people may feel differently. I would love to see it come back. I would love to see them make these demos, because last year, golly, the demos, man, Microsoft got me so amped. Oh, I was so hyped up. I'm thinking, man, you know what? I probably did it to myself. I probably did it to my doggone self by thinking that Microsoft was going to just knock it out the park with all of these demos, AAA demos. Man, them things was AA at best. At best. I think that Destroy All Humans was about the best game on the list that I saw. So, you know, if this is going to happen, you know, this digital event and they're going to have the demos there, try to up the ante when it comes to the demos. I mean, do better. Do better. But that's that's my question, man. If you want to be a part of the next feedback section, we will be going over this. You can do it two different ways. You can either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. I was your host, Keon Mitchell, and man, we 8 minutes over the doggone mark, so I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for the support. And before we officially get out of here, always remember, it is not about the consoles, it is about the games. So with that being said, until Wednesday, when we do it again, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.